Currently on Archibald, a sidewalk extends about 200 feet of the 800-foot block. The first plan is to extend this sidewalk. The sidewalk will continue on the south side of Archibald until it reaches St. Joseph's Home for the Elderly, providing a safe path for those residents. If Archibald is turned into a one-way eastbound street, the sidewalk would extend the entire block on the south side and curl in front of the elderly care facility. Archibald is currently comprised of two 10-foot lanes and no pedestrian sidewalks. Converting Archibald into a one-way street will permit the addition of an ADA-regulated 5-foot sidewalk and 5-foot buffer from the traffic lane.
There are two methods for improving visibility. The first option is the addition of a mirror across from the mouth of Archibald. The second improvement for visibility is the removal of 8 to 12 inches from the top of the crest of the hill.
The mirror will greatly increase the visibility in this intersection. It will have a 900 millimeter diameter with a 160-degree viewing angle. The mirror will be located 30 feet north of telephone pole number 25. It will be placed on a 10-foot pole angled down 13 degrees. The mirror has a sight distance of 80 feet. Here is the perspective of the mirror.
By removing 8 to 12 inches from the crest of North Prospect, we can redesign the vertical crest curve to greatly improve both line of sight and stopping sight distance.
Currently, there is no signage for northbound motorists on North Prospect. This leads to issues when motorists quickly cruise through the intersection to make their left turns onto Archibald from North Prospect. Adding a yield or stop sign for northbound travelers would slow traffic and improve the overall safety of the intersection.
An experimental design option for helping the issue of low sight distance on North Prospect would be the implementation of a through-route radar-activated warning system. This system was developed for stop-controlled intersections to reduce accidents occurring from people pulling out in front of through traffic. If Archibald were kept a two-way street, the system would warn the vehicle users heading north on Prospect making a left-hand turn onto Archibald, as well as vehicles approaching the stop sign on Archibald, looking to head either direction on Prospect. This would involve the installation of a warning sign with an LED light tripped by a Doppler radar at the bottom of the hill of North Prospect Street.
Converting Archibald into a one-way eastbound street from Germain Street until North Prospect Street is the most drastic change, but will greatly improve safety. This change will eliminate the dangerous turns onto Archibald that result from visibility issues with the crest of the intersection. Turning the road into a one-way eastbound street will still permit public transportation to utilize the bus stop in front of St. Joseph's Home for the Aged on Archibald, as well as allow residents of Germain Street to access their road from the west side. To analyze this alteration, traffic counts were performed at the intersection of North Prospect Street and Archibald Street during the morning and evening peak hours to determine which time period would be affected the most by the change. The evening peak hours had the highest amount of vehicles turning onto Archibald from North Prospect Street, so further traffic counts were performed on the surrounding intersections to 1. Determine where the vehicles on Archibald would go, and 2. How this change would affect the surrounding intersections. Next, analyses of the intersections immediately impacted by this change were performed. Vehicle volumes, signal timing, and phasing were measured during the evening peak hours at the intersections of North Prospect Street, Riverside Avenue, and Intervale Road, Riverside Avenue, North Winooski Avenue, and Hyde Street, and North Winooski Avenue and Archibald Street. These three intersections are the assumed paths for vehicles that were not able to turn left onto Archibald Street from North Prospect Street. Further analysis was required to determine the effects of these changes. The first step is the recalibration of signals with the additional vehicle volumes. The most tremendous effects occur at the intersections along Riverside Avenue. The first one at North Prospect Street calls for an entirely new lagging green phase for the northbound traffic. The next effect is the length of the left turn cycle at the intersection of North Winooski, where extra volume of vehicles adds 5 extra seconds to the current cycle. The signalized intersection at North Winooski and Archibald easily handled the new volumes, and the recalibrated cycle length equaled the current cycle length. The last step is ensuring the level of service remains the same or improves.
Design 5.5, turning Archibald into a one-way eastbound street, is considered the best option. With this option, any turn onto Archibald is eliminated, and head-on collisions are eliminated. Design 5.1 can be implemented at the same time, connecting the north end to downtown Burlington by way of Archibald. In terms of quick and easy changes, Design 5.2, the mirror addition, is the most feasible option. It can be implemented quickly and will greatly improve visibility for all users of the intersection.